This is a writing that I want to do because so many people don't understand what, expectations are and how to really like set a timeline for what you want to do. And I have a lot of experience with doing projects and project management. So I wrote this and now I'm going to narrate it. You might be watching this on YouTube or maybe on your way to work. So let's get right into this. I had the privilege of working in a plans and implementation work center during my military career. And when you see things from behind the scenes of any project, it can bring clarity and anxiety. That was the military though. And it's important to add that I had handled hundreds of projects with loose timelines and tight ones over the last 2 decades. There were times I would expect something to be done by a certain date, but I had no idea the level of knowledge and expertise that went into it. I would start demanding answers from those I had hired, trying to figure out where my promised delivery was. I learned many times over that there is always a trade-off. My initial lack of knowledge in coding languages, APIs, and other very important skills hurt me, not physically, but there were developers that were less likely to work with me in the future because of my short-sightedness. I missed the small things and demanded more than I ever should have. It's important to cover the positives as well. I kept digging for knowledge and learning the processes and coding to a degree. This gave me the much needed information to understand the realities of time. Some projects are small and quick, while others are complicated and need reasonable milestones. These timelines, or deadlines if you will, need to be addressed on both sides to ensure a good understanding is had on the job and research on the skills one should have to do the job. Let's bring Mike into this. My close friend Mike had triggered me to write this article, and I appreciate it. We have worked together on projects before, and we have a history together. Though it's something we discussed, it's not really about him other than a shout out for making me discuss it for a wider audience. Mike is working on a scuba diving website and is very excited to get certified, record his journey, and showcase his life for others to see as he views life from under the ocean. I also know Mike and his aggressive deadlines. I respect that he has passion, pursuit, and an I can do it attitude. That's what makes us friends. We talked for a bit and he hired a developer to create a unique template for the site a few days ago. The issue had developed where the developer set a timeline and promised to deliver the first website mockup after 2 days. Excuses and delays ensued because of unreasonable timeline set. I wasn't surprised at all, but Mike let me know his dissatisfaction about it, and I don't blame him after being told how long to see something. The mockup was approved, and again the developer had promised to go from a mockup to implementation in 2 days' time. I've built a lot of websites in 15 years, and I can tell anyone that in order to create a responsive template for WordPress, with the features anyone should expect, is not possible for that timeline unless you already have a multi-use template to use. With it being Monday in the US, and Mike saying he understood the reality of this, said Sunday was his official timeline to get the template. Now, I'll already say we've already gone past that line. This is not in the blog post, but I will say Mike held his word. Sunday came and he cut him off. That was it. He gave him 6 days after he said he could do it in 2. So that is kind of the update that's not in the blog. So thanks for listening and watching because you're getting a little extra. All right, let's keep going. In this situation, we're working with a custom template for WordPress, which is an easy framework to build on. The developer says 2 days, and Mike has a hard and fast deadline of Sunday, which is 6 days from the promised start. It is highly possible that this developer either has something pre-built and needs some slight changes, he bought a multi-purpose theme from ThemeForest, he is just that amazing, or he doesn't comprehend time very well. Mike's 6-day deadline is still bold, but a lot more achievable. Even though it is more reasonable, I still err on the side of caution knowing what it takes to grind out CSS, JavaScript, and other code to make this beautiful and responsive. Remember, this is one person developing a design and a template. The developer will have to take the .psd or Photoshop file, create the basic theme, and build it out completely with responsiveness for mobile and be production ready in only 6 days. My gut says no way, but I hope he can deliver. My fear is that corners will be cut to achieve the deadline, and those may not be obvious to Mike for a while. The other side of the coin is Mike could have not asked for certain things in his agreement. Keep in mind that I am using this as an example. When I would post a job on Elance, I would miss certain things like using a certain technology or making sure that something's responsive, or another requirement, and I would have to go back to the table and renegotiate. Now I'm going to veer from the blog post right here just to have a little side note. This is something that I had struggled with for about 10 years. I'd always create something and I'd forget that one little thing like, hey, I need this to be mobile. Hey, I need this to be ready for this. And it sucked because I always had to either rehire or I had to pay more. And if I would have gotten it up front, it would have changed everything. All right, let's finish up this paragraph. This would consistently cost me more money and time. You have to know your requirements and study, otherwise you will lose. This is not a position that you can claim ignorance. The developer doesn't care as long as they met your posted and agreed upon job. So be smart and learn what it takes to fulfill your project. Let's change pace and talk real expectations. When you are not experienced in something that you are asking for another person or team to do for you, it can be hard to get the end result that you want. Think of it as you purchasing your first home that you envision. You go to the architect's office to look at the blueprints, and you probably have no idea what most of it means. That doesn't mean you aren't getting exactly what you want, but it does mean you don't know the level of effort that goes into the project to give you the home of your dreams. Good projects can be rushed, but great ones are given the correct timeline in order to achieve a result that you can be proud of. The internet lends us to unlimited resources to learn and educate ourselves, and it's something we should all take advantage of. It's there for the taking. I want people to feel comfortable when hiring a freelancer. I also want that freelancer to be treated well and given the proper timelines and information. When you start taking your emotions out on developers, it tends to either discourage them from working with you and potentially less chance for them to work with people that are unreasonable in the future. I had used Mike as the catalyst for this post, but understand that he gets this. We've been building sites together since 2011, so this isn't a pick on Mike post. This is an opportunity to discuss the issue. What can you do to get smart? The first thing anyone wanting to build a website or anything else online should take a few simple classes on Code Academy or Khan Academy. I linked to this in the post. Both are a couple of great sites that you can go through the process of learning the languages our websites and databases speak. Getting through several of these could dramatically increase your knowledge. Okay, that takes time, so what can you do if you just need to get it going? Hire someone to manage your project. There isn't a lot of these people that are easily found, but someone like myself can easily help manage everything down to the last image. Look for project managers. We have connections to the right developers, designers, and more. Of course, this comes at a premium, but you are trading the cost of knowledge, and it's not cheap. I can tell you that I am billing a minimum of $20 to $50 per hour of my time to manage. The good thing is that it doesn't take long just to manage things. It just takes the knowledge of who to send emails to and make sure you are happy. Some managers could come cheaper or more expensive. It's what their time is worth. You may not want to go through the resources I have provided. There are still more options. However, I'm going to cover YouTube channels that you can lay in bed and watch on your Chromecast all night like I do. Yes, I'm aware that sounds depressing, but I manage. So what channels do I subscribe to? Here's my list that I think can help you. Dev Tips. Travis Nielsen is a badass. Level 39, I believe, and he works at Google now. He does awesome work, and he does lots of fantastic tutorials. So a shout out to Travis for that. The next one is Learn Code Academy. This is by Will. He's a friend of Travis. I can't remember his last name for the life of me, and he moves fast and he focuses on the server and backend side of things. But he's on a whole different level. I'm so far from him. Third one is Level Up Tuts. Scott Talinsky, He does series on all kinds of, frameworks, and he's got unlimited knowledge and he shares it with people. He's a great dude, just like the other two that I mentioned. I hope that you will go check them out. I did link to them in the post. All right, let's finish this up. Last paragraph. There you go. A list of thoughts and ways to change your perception. My only goal here was to start a conversation about what it takes to do a project and to do it well. The internet is not easy like it was in the beginning. Everyone is throwing their hat into the ring, and languages are developing quickly. And in that, I mean coding languages. Get on the train if you want to be part of it and do the jobs correctly. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments on this and add more resources for everyone if you can. And if you do add those, I'll put them in the list to make sure that that list is very thorough. All right. Thank you for listening, or if you're watching, I appreciate it. Thanks for checking out the video. I appreciate it. It supports me. It gives me encouragement to put out more videos. If you want to support me, by all means, you can subscribe. I'm always on Twitter, and I'm usually all over the internet to include Medium and Quora. So until the next video, thank you again. I greatly appreciate it.